What is up? Welcome back to Korean Tapas. This is episode 17. Today we're going to talk about video games, gaming, and something that really caught my eye when I visited South Korea for the first time. But before that, as usual, our co-host, all the way from Seoul, Minki, how are you?
I'm fine now. I had coronavirus I had been suffered for coronavirus 7 days, so please be
Oh,
lucky. Now I'm okay.
thank you for joining after that. Hope you're feeling better. And also Jisang, traveler, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. After a long time on episode 17, finally I don't feel tired and I feel really safe and sound now. I feel healthy
Safe and
and I'm
sound.
yeah, full of energy to tell you guys about the story of today.
Oh,
Yeah, that's cool. So this weekend, guys, I took the first plane after 2 years.
Wow, where did you go?
I went to Galicia, the
Mm.
northern
okay.
western
I
part of Spain, but it was the first time, and after 2 years, and it was, yeah, it's good. It's good being back to normal.
pulpo. Did you eat any
Pulpo,
octopus?
I don't like octopus. I don't like pulpo. But meat, we ate
Oh,
meat. Yes, good meat. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't know. Yeah, I know in Korea you have this octopus legs that are still moving, and you guys eat this weird stuff. But
yes, living octopus.
oh my god, no. Okay, but never mind. This is not the food episode. Let's move on.
Mhm.
Yes, guys. So first, the introduction for me would be when I went to South Korea first time, I was surfing through the TV and of course baseball and TV shows, whatever. But then I encountered several channels that were streaming games, like live games. I think it was League of Legends. And I wanted to ask you about what was your history with video games, if you guys have played in the past, if you know people that play for money and things like that. So yeah, what would be the first like memory for you guys about video games?
In my case, one day my parents bought PlayStation 2 and WWE SmackDown game. Do you know that? Like pro
This is a
wrestling
very fun
games?
game. It's a fun game, yes.
Yeah, I also had that one.
Ah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't know that. Like at that time in my hometown, I'm from countryside, and I was the only one who had a PlayStation game. So imagine that every elementary school student of my friend came to my house, like 20 people.
You were the cool kid, all to Minky's house.
Yes, and had a tournament about like PlayStation with like WWE and football game and something.
Well, PlayStation 2 is rather like it's okay, it's not super old. Like I had PlayStation 1 and I never had
Mm-hmm.
the 2. Then I skipped to
Mm.
the 3
I
many many
remember
years ago.
PS2 came out in 2003, something like that. 2002.
Oh, is that? I don't know at all. And from that time, I loved my parents. Like I became star. Like it's totally different from computer online game. It's like holy shit. It's like this is so much different. So yeah.
Yeah, you're walking the school and everybody was like, "Oh, this is Minky. Oh, the guy with the PlayStation. Oh my god, this
Yes,
is him."
exactly. Yes.
It sounds like the story that I heard from my grandparents or our parents' age that there was only one man or only one woman in the town that had television.
Color TV.
Same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, same thing. Same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. It sounds like that. Yeah.
What about this, Sam? What's your first memory of video games?
I think my first memory was in 1995, I guess.
Oh.
And luckily, my dad had a computer even at the time, though the screen was only black and white. And I'm pretty much sure that you two all know about these two games. I mean, two classic games called Prehistoric and Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia. I know.
Yeah, that one. Yes, Prince of Persia. Yes, prehistoric. No.
And anyhow, those two were like the only games that were in that on that computer, and I played it, and it was obviously my first memory.
You guys look so young. Now I feel old. So, from like on my side,
Okay.
I remember my parents bought this thing called Atari 2600. I cannot tell you the year. I don't know. Probably earlier than 1985. I don't know. I don't know. Even my brother was born. But it was like these cartridges, big cartridges, and then you had just one stick and one button, and there was like all it was 2D, right? 2D games like, I don't know, Pong and things like that. You were moving something across the screen, or shooting like space things, but only one button, one joystick. That's it. Cool, but you guys are so advanced by PS2 and so great graphics, and then Prince of Persia. That's nice.
But probably I might have played Tetris in advance, I guess.
Okay, okay. Did you guys at school ever had these like Game Boys and things like that?
I still have it actually. I In my room there is a Game Boy that I bought in 2000. I'm not really sure if it still works, but yeah, I bought it at the time.
Did you guys play at school? Because I remember at the recess, like between classes, we would just pull the Game Boys and start playing whatever Pokemon or whatever it was back then, and it was popular. Everybody had the Game Boys, and we were trading items and Pokemons and things like that. Did you guys play at school, or is it forbidden?
Actually, I also have a similar memory. In year 2000, there was also Pokemon phenomenon. I mean, it was obviously the global phenomenon, and in Korea here as well. So many of my friends brought their consoles, I mean Game Boys, to school, even though there were many teachers who prohibited. I'm not sure it was totally prohibited or not, but it was totally not recommended. But there were still many
Okay, frowned
boys.
upon. You better study, not play games. It's to study. And
Exactly.
how do you remember the years? Did you say 2000, 1985? How do you remember all the years?
He's smart.
I guess you might already realized the person I am. I mean, I am the person who memories unnecessary things usually and forget the important things
Unnecessary
mostly.
things. No, it's good. It's good. I can know it. But for me, it's impossible. Years.
Yeah, in my case, my friends didn't have a Pokemon like or Game Boy, but maybe Ricard, you don't know the Digimon.
That was after Pokemon, right? So the
Yes,
different sort of.
it was after. So in Digimon we had like Tamagotchi, which is
I remember
which is
this thing. This thing
similar.
that,
Yes,
yeah, like an egg, right? An egg that you have to walk
yes,
and
exactly.
care
Yes,
for.
yes, yes.
Yeah, yes. I had one of those. I remember we couldn't bring it to school because the thing it beeped. It had noises, right? So you could not have it in
Yes,
class. I
yes.
remember asking my father, "Could you please take it to your work, and then when it beats, just feed it and then give it some food?" And he did. Yeah, Tamagotchi. Wow. People were like, I mean, I remember classmates who were crying when the thing died, right? Because eventually it died after I don't know how many days, and people were crying, "Oh my god, it died!" Or I couldn't cure it, or whatever it was. Wow, amazing. So I think the aim of that Tamagotchi was for kids to walk because you had to walk to like to feed it steps. But people would cheat. People would just use up and down with their hands like this, like moving the hands, simulating that they were walking, but they were not walking. So
Okay, okay.
And we always had to feed them and get rid of their.
Shit.
that's correct. Yes, and the next ones. That's correct. Very okay. Because we're talking about what middle school or something like that. And I'm guessing, I assume you guys tell me with all your studying and crazy studying, you guys probably stopped playing video games after high school, and you have to go to university, and it's crazy. And how is it there?
Yeah, like you mean after like middle school or high school?
Right, because you were saying that you were playing Tamagotchi and PS2 and all those things, but I imagine that that was when you didn't have to study much. But then later, when you had to study from 9 to 9 and then going to the academy afterwards and all those things, there's no time for gaming, I suppose.
So as I told you, like I was a star when I was in elementary school and middle school. I played all the time about like WWE and football game, snowboard game, etc. But right after going to high school, I should stop every single game. So when I entered the university, I played before entering university and after finishing my high school exam, I played like 7 days, like 20 hours a day game.
Wow, that's a lot.
Because historically, if you listen, like I studied all day for high school, so like I was like I need to recover.
It was between when you finished high school before going to
Yes,
university. And you
yes,
spent
yeah,
okay, it was short period then.
Like 2 to 3 months.
yes, but like I played like at least 10 hours a day just in a row. Like, and I played football simulation game, so called FM, Football Manager, or other StarCraft.
Okay, that would be on a computer, right?
Yeah,
Laptop
so
or yeah. Okay. Hmm.
I really enjoyed that time, but that, what can I say? I get exhausted with that short period concentrated game is,
Yeah, so
and I'm done.
intense. 20 hours a day. You tell me.
Yes, and I'm done.
Just 4 hours for the sleeping and shitting. Okay, that's okay. So we know that Minky is a gamer at heart. Okay, what about you, Jisang?
Sorry, what was the question again?
There's no question. It's just,
I mean, I'm really shocked about his experience, so I just forgot the question.
like like because of your studying culture or something. Did you stop or did you still play?
I think I played game until I was in high school, and obviously after the entrance of the university, obviously there are tons of other things to do when we get to be an adult.
like studying,
So
yeah, studying, working,
Oh.
no, I mean not studying, working. I mean
drinking
like
soju.
partying
Drinking.
or like traveling, etc. Sometimes I gathered with my friends to play games together, but after I got 20, not much.
He's an adult now. Okay, that puts us to shame, Minky. So good, and it makes sense. I mean, yeah, definitely. I think here, as you know, it's not so extreme in terms of workload or studies. People, I think, sure, they when they get so busy with going to university and stuff, it might slow down. People stop completely. But I know people they juggle. They try to, okay, sure, if I cannot work on weeks, but maybe on the weekends I play 1 or 2 hours with my friends and then whatever, right? Sure. Right. So back to the first introduction on today's topic, like professional gaming on the TV and things like that. I'm not into it. I don't know names of famous streamers or players. I don't know any of that. But what I know is that in Spain, it's like getting more and more popular. Like I think they are like professional gamers now. Of course, there are a lot of streamers in Spain. But what I think Korea seems like many years ago, you already had like eSports and money and events that were like, yeah, stadiums full of people just watching those people play. Yeah, what's your take on it?
In my case, I was quite a huge fan of esports when I was in middle school, but completely changed when I entered high school because I realized that I'm not a good gamer. Regardless of how hard I try and regardless of how many games I play, my quality didn't improve quite a lot. So I mean, so all the memories that I had about like watching those professional games were from like 15 to 20 years ago. So nowadays I'm not really clear about.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just mind blowing that you can just tune it on the TV. I mean, I would be so amazed when here in Spain you would have a public channel in Spain here where you can tune in, yeah, League of Legends or Warcraft, whatever it is, right? But it's for me, it's quite a cultural shock for me.
In Korea, there was two official game channel on TV.
Two, okay.
Yeah, two game channel, and they had a different tournament. And it was so popular that in my memory, when I was in middle school, I need to watch some game for talking with my friends.
Yeah, it was as far as I remember, it was super popular in mid or late 2000s. So like for example, to watch a final match of professional league, it was almost like professional sport. It was exactly the same. So like thousands of people were inside the stadium only to see the games playing there.
And you had to watch it just to talk to your friends at school or at work. Same thing happens here with football, guys, with soccer. If you
Exactly.
don't know when is the Champions League playing or who is winning and losing, you get out of the conversation fast in some circles. And I usually get out of the circles because I just don't know anything about it. And then I come to work next day and they were like, oh, look at what Real Madrid, look what happened with the Champions League. And I'm like, what happened yesterday? I'm not aware.
Yeah, that was two, English Premier League and StarCraft. So
What about the so-called PC banks or PC rooms in South Korea? I know that here in Spain they were very popular when I was young, like maybe
oh yeah.
13, 14, something like that. But then they faded away. Then, like as people got like fast internet connections at home and better computers at home, they started to close these PC rooms, and people started gaming from home rather than going there and paying the extra money, because of course it's more expensive for in the long run to go to these rooms where you can just rent a PC for a couple of hours at home. But I think in Korea it's more still popular, right?
Yes, I think like imagine when we are in student, when we go to PC bank, it means that we don't study and there is so much smoke and the environment is totally horrible. But
Okay.
we
Okay.
are now grown up. Now we are getting money. So whenever we want to go to PC bank, we go and we just eat everything we want.
Okay, so we need to explain to the listeners. I mean, when you imagine like how do you call it? I don't know, PC rooms. I don't know how you would call this in Spain or in English.
There's
Cyber
no
cafe
English.
sometimes.
Yes, exactly,
Exactly.
exactly. So when you see this like in Europe or in American movies, it's just a room full of computers. You log in and then you whatever you play games or chat or check your email. But in Korea, it's a different concept. The chairs are, first of all, it's like you're in a super cool chair, super big screen. You can order any food. You can have what you guys tell me, but I've seen it, and it's crazy stuff that you can like eat like in a restaurant, but you are in front of a computer. What are the crazy things you can order? Like can you order bulgogi bibimbap, like things like that?
Yeah, those. I mean, all kinds of foods might be possible, even though the quality might not be that classic.
These days, Canvas too.
Gambas,
Some PC room,
shrimps.
not all, but some PC room has Spanish food.
I mean, it's great. I mean, here they would tell you, please don't eat in front of the computer because you would damage it or the keyboard or something. But there in Korea, it's encouraged. Please consume, please eat, please drink in front of the computer and stay as long as you want. That is cool. How expensive it is.
Recently, I didn't go there, but as far as I know, the price didn't go up that much. I mean, compared to the days I went to PC Bank, like in my middle school. So it's still. I mean, if you pay lots of volume at once, the hourly rate might be less than €2, I guess. €1, probably.
€1.
€1 an hour.
Hmm.
Okay.
But you have to pay for like 50 hours at once, something like that, in advance.
In the Korean dramas, it's always like when they go to the PC bank, it's always like the drama starts there, and people they're the thugs and the bad boy is there, and always conflicts. So it's a nice scene for conflicts in the PC room. All the bad boys smoking, and you said you can smoke in the room.
No, no, not anymore. But
Not
still,
anymore, luckily. Thank you.
still,
Thank you.
some PC bank will do that. But the scene with drama is because they are so cheap, like €1 for 1 hour, and then where can you go for €1 and 1 hour? Like not even
Nowhere.
not even
Nowhere.
cafe.
Are you crazy? Cafe in Korea is like €7 for a small water with drops of vanilla. That's
But I think here as well, the number of PC banks has been decreased, I guess. The quality of every single PC room got, I mean, advanced. And as you just explained, we can order food and with the pretty up to date screens and other computers. But I think on the street, I see less PC bank compared to like the last decade or the decade before, I guess.
Nowadays the male group divided with two group. Like for example, like for one is Jisang and me. Like we're soft user. When we our friends go to PC room, then we go to spend some time with my friends. But the others are like they want to play the game in their home with their own equipment, which is already advanced. So they don't need to go to PC bank. So for playing a League of Legends or StarCraft.
right. So you guys go to socialize, right? Because your friends, okay, where do we go? Do we go to drink or eat something? We can go to play some games at the PC and we can like play together. Okay, I say it. I say it. Yeah, makes sense. Do you know any professional gamers? People who play for living, even if they're not so famous, but just they don't work; they just play. Actually, let me rephrase. They work, but they work as like they play for work. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, obviously there are some professional leagues here in Korea, and personally, I play not now, but I played uh, mini football once a week and just for fun. And in our team, there were three professional esports players.
Oh.
Three already. And wow, that's
When I first met them, I thought they were just young kids because they look very innocent and they didn't look like superstars. But one of our team members recognized them, and right after that, I searched them on Google, and it turned out that one of them were like only 23 or 24, but almost earned like $500,000 already
Jesus.
as the
Wow.
prize money of the tournament.
Then next time you're meeting him, he pays for drinks, not you. That's yeah. Wow. I never met any professional gamer. Definitely, I know people that wanted to be professional gamers and streamers. I mean, I remember, even my students at school. I remember, yeah, when they were young, yes, I want to be a YouTuber. Yes, I want to make money playing video games on YouTube and Twitch and things like that. Um, doesn't look easy. I think people think it's easier than it actually is.
Actually, I had a chance to have some sort of interview with one of those three professional players in my football team because I had a time as a intern reporter, and I remember that he had to compete with 200 other trainees during his training time before becoming a professional player. So among those 200 trainees, he was the probably only one who survived to be a professional player. So he told me that it was a very tough competition.
I can imagine because the barrier to get into this it's quite low. It's not like you have to get yourself a university degree or a master degree to start playing. Just get a computer and you play, so everybody can play. So everybody can be a trainee or whatever you can call it, right? So to be on top of so many people, it cannot be easy. Yeah.
Now, I know some old professional gamer like Lim Johan or Hong Jino. They're like StarCraft stars when we were in middle school student, and now they are in poker player or they broadcast some their own YouTube channel, I think. But these days, I don't really watch my any other game. But my friends know the Faker or Paker. I don't know the pronunciation, but he's the number one player in the world, the of the League of Legend.
Okay. Uh huh. Okay. Is he Korean?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes. I'm sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
I mean, I heard like for esports fans, he's like Messi from esports league.
hmm
So even if you don't play, do you ever like watch maybe YouTube or things like that?
I don't watch, but I have many friends who still watch game streamers on Twitch or on YouTube.
I don't find it super fun. I mean, I might watch, but like small stuff where they teach you, okay, you have to do these things in this game or that in that game, but not rather like, yeah, 4 hour stream and just sitting there eating my chips and seeing how others play, but rather learning the tricks or learning the cheats or learning how to improve on certain things, but not like, yeah, sitting down and watching 4 hours of.
in my case, I sometimes watch StarCraft games still, like old game, the old but still like fascinating.
Are they quick? Because my problem with this thing is that usually it's slow, right? I mean, you see the people streaming and it's like, yeah, 3 hours. Like I'm not gonna sit for 3 hours. I watch it at maybe faster speed.
League of Legends is like at least 15 minutes or 1 hour, something like that. But StarCraft can be 5 minutes or 1 hour.
Okay, so it can be faster. Then it's more digestible, right? If it's just a short period, that makes sense. That makes sense. So now that we've talked about gaming and esports and all those things, when you meet somebody maybe in their 30s, 35 or 40s, and they tell you that they play video games, is it something that shocked you? Or is it something that in Korea would be frowned upon? Or is it just, yeah, sure, whatever? It's like same as going fishing.
The answer varies obviously depending on the person who answers.
No, but for you, like tomorrow you meet a friend of Minki's, and his friend says, yes, sure. On my free time, I play video games. And he's also like an office man, salary man. Would you think that's strange? Would you think, it's okay, even if it's an adult?
Honestly, I don't think it's fun. I mean, the answer, because obviously nowadays there are tons of activities that we can do during our short free time. So I think if there's a people who says that his or her main hobby is playing games, it wouldn't sound very fun. But I don't think it's like childish or time wasting. It's also one of those hobbies that might be respected.
Hmm? Okay. What about you, Minky?
I thought exactly just like Jisang, but I recently I moved the company, right, and I for the IT company, and my one of my superior, he's like 40s, and he wasn't so excited to buy the Xbox. So when I watched him, like I was so surprised that oh he can mention it freely, like, and I was my mind got changed. It's like oh it's so natural that he can say like that in some area. See, there are some people who are playing computer games or online console game.
That's where I wanted to go, right? I mean, if in Korea there's this culture of, because here maybe not in my generation, and for me as well, if I find maybe I meet your friends and your friend tell me yes I play games at night, I would say fine, sure. Some people play games, some people watch TV, some people play chess, I don't know, cards, whatever it is, right? But I think for my parents generation it's a little bit strange. It feels like they see gaming as a child's play. They don't see game as something you would do in an adult. Even though, what's the difference between playing a computer or playing poker, right? In the end, it's just a game.
I think my parents would think the same, I guess.
And then we asked the listeners, how about you guys? Those listening, do you think that gaming is for young only, or is it for adults? Leave us a comment, please. And also, please answer if you still play games. If you think it's okay to play, what's your favorite game? I know we know that StarCraft is for Minky.
Old.
Jisang doesn't play games. Old StarCraft, okay, old StarCraft, not new StarCraft. Then thank you so much. We hope that you liked today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast for more episodes, better episodes, as Jisang always says. Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, you name it. Leave a comment on our website, Korean Tapas Show. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.